Now I unveil the unbelievable. Think you know everything about the iconic Barbara Eden? Think again. I have the hidden vault of her untold tales. Stories so wild they've been locked away from the world. But wait, there's more. Beneath that charming smile lay a tumultuous work dynamic with Larry Hagman, revealing astonishing hurdles Barbara conquered. And just when you thought things couldn't get more jaw-dropping, there's the mysterious Larry Hagman's pee incident lurking in the background. Was Barbara Eden involved in Larry Hagman's infamous script peeing incident? Barbara Eden was a delightful actress, but her life wasn't as great as you thought. The actress suffered losses that broke her mind, but she continued to struggle and did what she knew to do best, make people happy. Barbara Eden brought one of our deepest fantasies into reality. She became a sexy on-screen genie, and for that, no one will forget her performance in I Dream of Jeannie. She was immensely sensational in that series. However, the actress also caused trouble with the series. How did she cause it? She bared her stomach on TV. In the 1960s, there were limitations to how actresses could dress on TV shows. There was also a similar censor with movies, but movie stars could get away with it on the silver screen to an extent. However, on television the rules were stricter, but there were compromises, even if they were absurd. For Barbara in I Dream of Jeannie, the compromise was she could show her belly, but not her belly button. See, absurd. And there's more. She couldn't also show her baby bump on camera. So when the actress got pregnant, the studio went to great lengths to hide her belly bump. No one wanted to offend the censor board. Not that Lucille Ball cared about what the board said. Without Lucille's stubbornness and willingness to battle the censor board, Eden's Jeannie character would not have been as iconic as it was. Lucille's bravery inspired producer George Schlatter to let Barbara's character wear revealing clothing. When George presented his vision of Eden's character to NBC studio executives, there was trouble in the boardroom. However, they decided to go along with it and do it within the limits the censor board had provided. So Eden's character ended up not having a belly button. And you know what's funny? NBC hid the belly button so well that people believed she didn't have one. There was a national curiosity surrounding the actress. People wanted to know if she had a belly button or not. So when a writer from Hollywood Reporter came to the studio, he searched for Eden. He challenged her about the status of her belly button and told her he didn't believe she had one. He saw it, was awed, and began to write about it. It's strange, isn't it? Other actresses stun the audience with their legs, busts, and bottoms, but Eden, belly button. Sometimes we think most people are so focused on her navel that they forget she's super sexy. Well, most people. Actors who pursued the sexy actress and wanted a relationship with her knew how sexy she was, and it wasn't just actors. Powerful men were interested in her too. Reports say that Clint Eastwood couldn't resist the sexy actress's charms. Even UK's Tom Jones threw caution to the wind in the face of Barbara's elegance. Both men didn't even care that she was married. Did you know Elvis had a thing for the sexy actress? He asked her out. They would have dated, but his lifestyle put her off. For all his status as a superstar, Elvis didn't go out much. This clashed with Eden's personality, and she rejected his advances. Elvis to her was boring, and she wouldn't be the only actress to find Elvis boring. Rita Moreno felt the same way too. While Barbara didn't date the king, the two later worked together in the film Flaming Star, and the actress admitted that Presley was easy to talk to and had a kind soul. But Elvis wasn't even the biggest star that wanted to date Barbara. That honour belongs to John F. Kennedy. Yes, John F. Kennedy wanted to have a relationship with her too. Honestly, it's not surprising. The Kennedys have a wandering eye. The two of them met when the actress was at a New York airport. Barbara was having a slow time at the airport, and a giant of a man approached her. The man was a bodyguard, and he asked the actress if she would like to meet JFK, a senator at the time. The actress said yes, and went to meet JFK. They exchanged pleasantries, and Eden thought that that was all, but JFK had left a gift for her. The beautiful actress put her hand in her coat's pocket and found something. It was a note. Barbara was curious about what the note said, so she read it. It was a phone number and the instruction, "Call me." She didn't call. The actress immediately threw the paper in the trash. However, she regretted it later on and wished she had held on to the paper. At least JFK wasn't so forceful. Desi Arnaz, on the other hand, that man didn't take no for an answer. Desi was her hero, or one of her heroes. The two of them shared a set in I Love Lucy. Desi came on as a guest star. However, Desi wasn't there only for his job. The man began to disturb the actress for an affair and was aggressive with his advances. Barbara rejected him. The man was married, and Barbara had a no married when it came to her dating. Plus Lucille Ball, Desi's wife, was someone that Barbara adored. The woman was kind to Barbara and always was ready to help her. Once she helped Barbara put more sparkles on her gown so it would be good on camera. Lucille even tried to sign the actress. She was that big a fan of Eden. So you see why Eden had to be firm with Desi about not wanting anything to do with him. But Desi was a stubborn man. It reached the point that the only solution was for the actress to begin running away from him. After a while he took the hint and left her alone. But he didn't do just that. He also acted respectably during his and the actress's scene, as his hand didn't wander around. While Desi grudgingly took Barbara's hint and left her alone, her ex-boyfriend didn't. He tried to take his own life. When Eden started to become popular, her managers and friends told her to date fellow stars, so they set her up on a blind date with Michael Ansara of Broken Arrow, the sensational TV show. At the time, Barbara had a boyfriend, Tony, but she agreed to go. The first date went well. Barbara fell in love with Ansara and broke up with Tony. Tony's heart split in two, and the pain from the heartbreak made him lose his mind. He tried to fight for Eden's love and would visit her at work, but the sexy actress turned him down. Tony became hopeless and felt there was only one thing to do. If Barbara didn't want him, then life wasn't worth it. He decided to take his own life. Tony called Barbara to inform her of his decision. Fear gripped her. Tony was about to take a drastic step, but not on Barbara's watch. She and Ansara raced to meet Tony and were just in time to take him to the hospital. Then one strange thing happened. Barbara fell for Ansara even more. Tony, almost dying, brought her and Ansara together. The two of them got married, and it ended in pain for them. Want to find out what happened? Barbara Jean Moorhead might have a fun life on-screen, but off-screen her life wasn't a paradise. The actress suffered and experienced different unfortunate events. She was born on August 23, 1931 in Tucson, Arizona, US. Her earliest tragedy was when her parents divorced when she was just 3 years old. The divorce began a life of poverty for the actress. After her mother left her father, she moved to El Paso, where she and the actress lived with her grandparents. Her grandfather helped reduce the effects of the divorce on the actress and spoiled the actress as best he could, but they couldn't stay with him forever. Her mother fell in love with another man and married him. Then they had to move again. They moved from El Paso to San Francisco and became a family, but life wasn't easy for them. Still, her stepdad made sure he was there for her, and they had swell times together. While he fished, Eden would skate around on her roller skates, but this happiness wasn't enough to cure the cloud of darkness that loomed over the family. As if the family wasn't going through enough with poverty, Great Depression happened and things got worse. Eden and her parents struggled to even have a roof over their heads. They had to share with one of her aunts and her husband. You can imagine how crowded it was, but they didn't have a choice. It was better than nothing until it wasn't. It got to the point that they didn't even have a roof over their heads. They had to move around looking for where they could live. It wasn't that her parents weren't working. They were even some of the most hard-working there was. Her mother was a credit manager in a jewelry store, and her stepdad worked as a telephone lineman. Despite this, the family could barely survive the Depression. They lived wondering where the next meal or even the next meal would come. But with all their suffering and lack, the family had happiness in abundance. They laughed, loved, danced, and sang. It was that happiness from her childhood that inspired the delightful star to become an actress. She got the initial training she needed to face the crowd by performing with the church choir. Then she took her craft to local bands and sang for $10 a night in different nightclubs. But these public performances were not enough. The actress joined the Actors' Equity and got more training as a singer at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. Then she studied acting at the Elizabeth Holloway School of Theatre. Soon an opportunity came. It was time to elect Miss San Francisco, but there was a problem. Barbara didn't want to apply, but her acting teacher wouldn't have it. The teacher encouraged her to register for the competition, and Eden did. The rest is, as they say, history. She won the competition, and it gave her the encouragement she needed to pursue a career as an actress. But then something happened. Her career was threatened before it even began. The actress met a Warner Brothers talent scout, and she almost quit. Eden moved to Los Angeles to live with her uncle and aunt to pursue her dream career. Everyone seemed to be according to plan when she met the scout. Eden was hopeful, but the scout took a look at her body and said Eden wasn't sexy enough. Can you imagine? Barbara Eden not sexy? Of course, she was hurt. She had the choice to pack her bags and quit, but she had survived worse and would also survive this. So she made a decision. She wouldn't quit. The talented star joined into the Hollywood Studio Club, but it was tough, and she worked as a dancer to support herself. It was during this time that she met Elvis. You already know what happened between the two of them. The actress began to get roles on television. She appeared on shows like The Johnny Carson Show, I Love Lucy, Gunsmoke, and the last episode of Route 66. As a result of her growing, she met the love of her life, Michael Ansara. After an initial dramatic beginning to their relationship, as we have told you before, she and Ansara married in 1958. But life was unscripted, and their sweet marriage turned sour. Barbara again tasted misfortune, and this time it broke and almost destroyed her. So the couple had their first child, Matthew, 7 years after their marriage. Then they tried to have another child in 1971. Their second attempt at childbirth led to a floodgate of pain for the actress and her husband. Eden was carrying her second child, and all was well until the 8th month. A trip to hospital turned into a lifelong nightmare for Eden. She found out that her baby was dead. Something snapped within Eden. She broke and didn't even know it. Despite doing everything to help the baby survive, he was gone. Just as her baby lost his life, Barbara lost her spark. She was alive, but at the same time she felt lifeless. Nothing interested her, not her husband or her first son. Barbara began to withdraw from her husband. She was unhappy, stopped eating, and lost weight. The actress didn't know that what she was suffering from was postpartum depression, so she never got any treatment. All she knew was that she was unhappy. And at some point it looked like her husband was the source of her unhappiness, and Sarah noticed. He tried to make things work. They tried to make things work, but each attempt to bring them together only pulled them apart. Without any solution in sight, one thing became certain. Eden asked for a divorce from her husband. He was shocked, confused, and eventually furious. He challenged Eden, but her mind was set. She got the divorce and got her happiness back when she met Chuck Ferger. It was at a low point in her life. The actress didn't have anybody, and Ferger just swaggered into her world. He was intelligent and fun, a fatal combination that Eden couldn't resist. Their relationship was explosive, in a good way, at least at first it was. Chuck showed her who he really was. First, he wasn't single. He was married and didn't tell the actress until she found out months into their relationship. She was devastated. It was another heartbreak all over again. But Ferger was a smooth operator, and soon Eden forgot all about her disappointment in him. He calmed her and claimed it didn't matter, since he would quickly divorce the woman he was married to. But it did matter, as Ferger changed for the worse. He began to hang out with a rough crowd. They dealt with the hardest illegal substances and caused the worst trouble. So she divorced Ferger too. Then Barbara was in a dark place again, but it got even worse. She regretted her divorce from Ansara. It was one of the costliest decisions she had ever made, as it harmed her most painfully. It would be the worst tragedy to happen to her. Her son Matthew died. The boy had gotten involved with the wrong crowd early in his life and had become an addict. Imagine how Eden felt when she found out her son used illegal substances, and started when he was 10. She tried everything to help her son. At first it looked like she was successful, but in the end she failed. After a constant battle, Matthew became sober, but in a moment of weakness he used a substance and his heart stopped beating. Matthew wasn't the only person that Eden knew who struggled. Larry Hagman, her co-lead in I Dream of Jeannie, also did. Larry suffered, and he did unimaginable things. He peed on the script because he hated it. He also showered set furniture with his urine too, for whatever reason. As if that wasn't enough, he chased after nuns who visited the set with an axe. Hagman was too much, but as much as he hated the script, he was also under the influence. Barbara revealed that he would be neck-deep in champagne and pills before they began to film for the day. However, any time the director yelled action, you wouldn't even know what Larry had been up to minutes before. The actor immediately slipped into character, and he delivered robust performances. Larry was too much. Even the sexy actress, while praising his skill, admitted that she couldn't cope with marrying a man like Larry. But the two of them had great chemistry. Their chemistry was so intense that people thought the two were sneaking around and doing things to each other. Those people may be right. Something sneaky could have happened on set. After all, the actress admitted that the two were meant for each other. In her words, "I loved him a lot." Well, well, Barbara. Additionally, she also said they were good for each other, both as on-screen couple and off-screen. Okay, Barbara. If she insists that nothing happened between them, we accept that nothing happened between them. Honestly, the chemistry was apparent from their first rehearsal. It was too natural. Barbara was the one that broke the ice. She threw herself on Larry's back and began to call him master. Larry looked lost and later confessed to the actress he was scared when she suddenly leapt on him. Remember, Larry can be a little bit extreme. So at some point the studio wanted to kick Larry out. Eden intervened on his behalf, and it worked. They kept the actor on the show. However, Larry tried to kill the actress, but he didn't mean it. What happened was an accident, a nasty one that had blood flowing everywhere. The two of them had been rehearsing for a scene where the star would jump and land on the sofa with her two hands under her chin. They practiced the scene many times without any problems until they decided to film. The camera was rolling, and Eden jumped as she had been doing, but this time she didn't land on the sofa with her hand under her chin. She landed on the couch with her tooth against Larry's knee. It was a horrible sight, blood everywhere. From then on, they didn't try a scene like that again. Sorry, Barbara. But Barbara wasn't the only one that had a set mishap. Larry had too, and it was epic. So they were on the set, and this time lions were involved. Now, she knew how to work with lions. She had acted in films with them before and got training. Eden knew the trick was to keep the lions well fed, as it makes them lazy, and she knew how to pet them. I scratched him behind the ears. Never the ears, just behind the ears, the actress revealed. The actress did her thing and asked Hagman to join her. He gave her a resounding no, but when he saw how good she was with them, he joined her, especially as the scene was about to start filming. Then it happened. Larry walked towards them, and the lion took one good carnivorous look at him and roared. Before Barbara looked up, Larry had disappeared. It was as if the wind carried him away. He wasn't the only one that ran away. Every other person on the set did, and they even threw cameras away. Barbara sat there with a 600-pound lion on her lap, wondering where they all disappeared to. Eventually, I Dream of Jeannie got cancelled, and it wasn't because of Larry. NBC studio executive Mort Werner ruined it, according to the show's stars and the creator, Sidney Sheldon. Mort insisted that Barbara and Hagman's character marry, and as soon as the sexual tension between them disappeared, so did the audience. Larry and the actress eventually worked together on another TV show, Dallas. Hagman requested that the actress join him in the final scene, and their chemistry graced the screens once more. While the actress isn't much active on the screen again, she has diversified into writing books, and she published a book titled Barbara and the Djinn. The actress now lives a quiet life with her husband, John Eichholz, who she met at a bleak period in her life. After 2 failed attempts at marriage, he would be her happily ever after. But wait, there's more! In our next video we uncover an astonishing revelation that will leave you speechless. Did Gina Lollobrigida's name truly pay homage to her extraordinary and captivating features? Watch this video now.